Well, one thing I wanted to point out, because you were talking about both the challenges of fundraising as well as innovation in the program and in water credit. And I think that what we've discovered is that long, hard slog of trying to raise funds was very challenging, because there were points of differentiation between us and other organizations in terms of the best practices that we were trying to employ and making sure projects were sustainable. But this whole sector that has evolved in a way that's kind of the norm now. And so what we were able to do with water credit was to develop this additional point of differentiation, because when we, for instance, we have an $8 million grant from the PepsiCo Foundation now that's there to help us reach about 800,000 people in India with water, with safe water. And one of the things that really captured their imagination was what we've been looking at, and that's the philanthropic cost per person reached. And it's different than the total cost, because the total cost can still be more than $100 to get somebody a water connection. But the more that you can displace that from having to be 100% charity and leverage commercial capital, the costs come down. So we had an initial program with Pepsi where it was about $50 that it was costing us to get water to a person. With water credit, that started to come down, and we had the initial grant with them where we were going to get to $24 of philanthropic costs per person. And we actually beat that. Now, the second grant, we've got it down to $10 of philanthropic costs. So when you look at that from a foundation's perspective, particularly a business foundation that's looking at how do we get the maximum bang for the buck in terms of the philanthropic capital that we invest, then all of a sudden it starts becoming much more attractive, which helped us with landing a MasterCard grant and then Caterpillar. And so these are the things that as you're innovating not just to really make this more effective in the program implementation, but it's also the way that you survive and thrive in terms of the revenue model for the organization.